I'm glad you're still with us here on Morning at NTV. Let's now transition from the aspects of network sharing among the telcos to information sharing between the experts on weather and the citizens. There is growing concern that many of the citizens who are currently grappling with the disaster that was the rain yesterday had no sufficient information on how to act and what to expect. But is it so? Some say Ugandans never listen, even when you tell them and warn them of impending danger. What happened yesterday is stuff that can be avoided, especially if you know about what is going to happen and the extent of the rain that will fall. I am told by one of the opinion leaders who are monitoring climate changes across Africa and indeed the globe that if Uganda received millimeters of rain equivalent to 30 days in a week, the disaster that would be occasioned upon us would be enormous. That is for the technocrats, the policymakers, and those who are responsible for urban planning to think about how we can deal with such if the rain that we received in 3 hours occasioned the kind of disruption and destruction that we are now reporting. In studio, I have with me George William Omony, a meteorologist from the Ministry of Water and Environment. He's here to brief us on what to expect, especially when the rainy season gets into the thick and, well, not thin this time, but the weight of it. You're most welcome to the program, Mr. Omony. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much for hosting.
First things first, I want to stand with the Ugandans who might have missed warning from the meteorologists, Ugandans who might have misunderstood whatever was communicated, Ugandans who didn't have an idea about the impending rainfall. What do you have for us? Okay,
thank you so much. Thank you, NTV, for hosting me. I'm always here whenever there is need to give early warning information.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
Well, we are in charge of generating this early warning information.
Yeah.
And it is normally given in time because we have specific period by which we normally generate this. The best early warning information that can really give the community to take action is something which is given like from today, then it is expected within a week, a month, or 3 months. But an early warning information which is given like now, then it requires the community for relocation. Like the information is given like tomorrow or in 30 minutes time.
30 minutes.
Normally it is very difficult for people to act.
That is actually late.
It is late. But on a good news, meteorological services generate forecasts, which is the early warning information on a different time scale. So the best one is the 3-month early warning information, which we provided by the beginning of this month. When we generated that, we issue it out, and we indicated very clearly. First, we indicated the rain was delaying to come, because if you see that there was a high temperature during the month of February, and the high temperature during the month of February was due to the dry condition which is falling during that period of time, then coupled with the delayed onset of the rain. So we knew, and we also warned, that this rain is going to delay. That is what we issue by the beginning of this month. The rain is going to delay to start, but once it comes with a lot of problem. Why always rain comes with a lot of problem, particularly when it delays? Because when rain delays, normally the high energy, which is normally accumulated in the atmosphere, so it builds up, and the moment it is now bursting, when the rain is getting back into normal, it comes with a lot of full force. So if we see what is happening right now, that is one of the things also we forewarned. I recall very well last week, I was on a talk show also with one of the media house. That was on Thursday last week, after the heavy rainfall with a strong wind, which happened in the night. So one of the media house came to our office. We had a talk show with them. I told them, I said, this is the beginning. more is yet to come. So when we are seeing what is happening yesterday, it is exactly what
we
noted. And we also indicated area which is prone to flooding, like those Buaise area, Chebando. We say that the coming rain is going to cause a lot of flood in that area, and people need to take precaution.
That's right.
Of course, you know it is very difficult for people to take precaution in the process of relocation because there is nowhere to go. Then also we talk about lightning. It is expected during this period. And also strong wind, it is also expected. Because when rain delays, it comes with a lot of wind and also with the lightning, which will be accompanying it, and also thunderstorm. So those are the kind of information we provide on a timely basis, and we keep on updating them. Even we give those one on a weekly basis. So the only problem I can say is some people don't receive this particular information. Because we normally send this information to the media houses, whereby we have a social media, we share with them. So we find it is difficult being an institution of the government which is centralized. We are not decentralized. So reaching everybody at the grassroots is a big challenge difficult. We are facing.
I do appreciate the work and the effort that your department actually undertakes and rolls out. You're part of what is no doubt an ecosystem when it comes to providing services or information that should help many citizens cope with the effects of such disasters. But in light of the extent or how heavy this rainfall can be, there are those who it plays well for, especially the farmers that do cultivate lands that are not either low-lying or in landslide-prone areas. Those ones would conveniently be comfortable when the rains come. Who should mind more about agriculture-related positives or challenges, and who should mind more about public health or simply being avoiding disaster and the need to relocate for that matter?
Okay, thank you so much. If I look at who should mind more about, I start with the health. With the health, I look at area which is crowded. If you look like around Kampala here, those slum areas,
the urban centers,
those people should take a lot of precaution currently. Because one, the rain is heavy nowadays, and we are yet to receive more heavy rainfall. And this rain will come with a lot of problems. First of all, the water which is being washed.
The flash floods.
It picks a lot of all that. So you expect now cholera outbreak to be coming in place. Then we also see like this is a period, you know, mosquito borne disease can easily come out. So we find that during the rainfall period like this, when it always fluctuates with the sunny condition. So we find the temperature, when it comes in, then the mosquito will start multiplying. So the incidences of malaria outbreak is also expected. So that is an area whereby the health need to take a proper monitoring of the outbreak of those kind of disease which we expect. And we also request the government, if possible, to restock the health centers, to have all those drugs in place. Restocking the health centers. Because sometimes you find people complain when they are suffering from malaria. They go to the health centers, you find there is no drug. So that is a very big problem that we need to put in place. It is very difficult for these people in the slum area to find themselves to be relocated. And they always take it, it is a normal thing. It comes and it will go. So they keep on suffering. Then for the farmers, it is very unfortunate during this period when the sun was really too high and the rain delayed. People ended up going into the wetland for farming. Because the rain was not coming, then they ended up going where there is water, access of the water. Now, the rain is back. Some people have planted in those areas where there is a wetland. Now, this rain, it is going to wash out completely those crops, which is going to be very bad. And some of these crops, the one they planted, does not require too much water. So that is the big problem. People need to think twice. If possible, they have to relocate completely from the wetland. Even the law does not allow people to be working on the wetland.
On the wetland.
Yeah. Then I want to come to also the cities and the town authorities. We have seen this kind of flood. This flood which is happening, it is due to heavy rainfall. I can say 5 factors which is responsible for this flood. For this particular flood, yeah. The one and key factor is the heavy rainfall which comes. Number 2, deforestation or encroachment into the wetland. Because this wetland or the trees, they try to control the speed or the velocity of the flow of the water. Of the water, yeah. But now when you cut it off, you encroach on the wetland, it will increase the velocity. So at the end, you find it creates a lot of negative impact on the livelihood of the community. Number 3 is we look at drainage system design. Drainage system design. Inappropriate, the way they have designed it. I always advise our technical people, the engineers, whenever they are designing a drainage system within the cities or even along the highway, it is important to come to our office. They get the raw data on rain for that particular area, so that you get to know how much rainfall is always received over that area, so that you put all those factors into consideration when you're designing your drainage system, so that it can withstand the volume of water which will be coming during that period of time. Number 4 is the maintenance of the drainage system within the cities and towns. It is very poor. You find during the dry season, you find these authorities, they don't remove those garbages which has already collected in the drainage system. So when rain comes, it gets it there. Then the fast flowing water will find difficulties in now getting through the drainage system, so it comes out. So those are the big problems we normally see. So we need to work together with the city authorities. They get also the early warning information in time. Like by the time we are generating the forecast, we are issuing the forecast, because we normally issue the forecast before the rain starts. Before the rain starts, and we always keep it in, we put it in our early warning information, that we advise the city authorities to start removing those garbages which are already blocking the drainage system because the rain is coming. Okay. Yeah.
Allow me to dwell on the issue of the drainage systems and the readiness by the authorities, for example, on the onset of the rains. This speaks to interagency coordination, especially when it comes to undertaking projects, including, for example, the Northern Bypass, where we saw that heavy flooding along the areas of Chebando. I don't want to put you on the spot in any way, but if I were to ask the question, how frequently or how often is the Meteorological Authority contacted, especially when huge projects like these ones are being undertaken? Are you part of the feasibility study, or you simply share information like you would share to any stakeholder, including the reader online, for example, like Chris Higenyi? Is there concerted, deliberate consultation on the part of the project implementers and contractors to find that information that says this particular piece of land is low-lying, and even if you put the best of drainage systems, the water will flood? Is there an opportunity for such engagement? Okay, thank you so much. Well, when it comes to some of these big projects, particularly on the road, the contractor normally come to our office. And for them, they come to pick the data. That is the rainfall data set that we always do collect over the area. Okay. And normally they pick like for a period of 30 years. Which will give you exactly the return period for a particular event. Whether there is a flood during this year, then which year again it comes. So that is what they pick. So after picking, they go and do the analysis. Their own analysis. But I would have loved we be together with them. That is right. We can generate that kind of analysis, because for us we generate a lot of output. Your data miners. We understand it even better. This area received this much of rainfall, and within these intervals of years. So for them, after picking the data, they go and do the analysis. Of course, you can have the data,
good data set.
Yeah, good data set.
But if you analyze it wrongly,
the wrong way,
you will design the drainage channel also wrongly. So when the heavy rainfall comes during a given time, definitely the volume of that water which is coming cannot really be accommodated by the channel you have designed.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. We're hoping as stakeholders on the outside that this kind of engagement takes on a more deliberate and intentional force, especially from the contractors and the government. Now, the other day, a week before yesterday's very unfortunate destruction and disruption, we heard and saw reports of a heavy storm within the islands, and these were gale force winds that blew off roofs. This usually happens even when the rain is not as much. In other words, you could see a scenario where the rainfall is heavy but not stormy, and then you see a heavy storm coming through and no rain to basically equal the kind of force. What are these patterns like, and how should we interpret them in order to avoid any destruction?
Okay, thank you so much. That thing was really very unfortunate because it resulted into a loss of life of the many people and also their properties. That phenomena is called the water spout. Water spout.
Water spout.
And it is like a whirlwind. This kind of wind which normally rotate in the villages, we normally see it in the cities, very rare.
Is that what some locals call a ghost?
Exactly, the one which normally rotates. So it is, that one is another, it belongs to their family.
Oh, okay.
So it is very common over Lake Victoria and also Lake Bunyonyi.
Okay.
That is where we have ever observed them. Now, this system comes because of there are factors which brings it. Number one is the wind. Then number two is the temperature.
Yeah.
Then number three is the amount of water vapor in the atmosphere. So like when the amount of water vapor in the atmosphere started increasing, then the wind speed increases, temperature is also high. Then if the wind is like they're coming together, then it results into that rotation.
Yeah, it's more like a confrontation, and then each particular wave tries to find a way.
Because when a wind converge, when wind from different direction converge together, then they are forced to rise up.
Yes.
So the rising up is good because for the formation of the cloud. If there is no rotation from the surface, but if it resulted into rotation from the surface, then it will create a lot of problem. Then you find out that is where this water spout will be generated.
Okay.
So once it is generated, but most of the time we have been observing, it only happened within the lake. But this time it went beyond because it was generated over the lake, then it went on the what? On the land.
Okay.
That is where it caused a lot of problem. How can we do monitoring this? We have water buoys. It is an instrument which take different parameters over the lake. We have put them in some other places over the Lake Victoria and Lake Albert also. But where this thing always form, we don't have one because the one we have, there are very few. So the one we have put is only to help the water fishermen because they've been having a lot of problem whereby strong wind come
that can
out
be very,
of the north. So we decided to put an area where there is always a strong wind which affect the water fishermen. So there is need now for the meteorological services and the government, let me say in general, at least to provide. We need to provide this particular instrument. We put it at that area so that we keep on monitoring. Once we see that all these weather parameters are coming in place, so we can issue the early warning information. Then people take precaution.
Mr. George William Omon, I'll be engaging you further, especially on the ability to be able to monitor effectively and provide early warning systems that can be able to mitigate some of the adverse effects of weather changes, including heavy rainfall. But allow me go to my colleague, Rashul Adidi, who is speaking to the District Agricultural Officer for Arua District on matters of weather, especially in light of what is no doubt a clear pattern of the arrival of the rains. Good morning, Rashul.
Good morning to you, Chris, again in the studio, and those who are for the topical discussion. Now, yesterday our eyes couldn't witness what happened in Kampala, the devastating floods that actually left 7 people dead, and of course yesterday traffic was paralyzed across different suburbs in Kampala, including areas of Gaba. Now when you look at this particular rains, people are asking questions whether this is a manifestation that the rains are already starting across the different parts of the country and farmers should prepare themselves, or this could just be a breakthrough as the rains are going to start. And to have this conversation better, when you look at this particular season, this is when farmers are supposed to prepare for the first season to plant, and also some of them are yet to plow their gardens. And we want to understand when it comes to now the production component. We saw yesterday what happened in Kampala. Could it be a manifestation that the first season rains have started, and could the farmers prepare themselves? This morning I'm delighted to be joined by the District Agriculture Officer of Arua District. I want to understand, maybe us being the District Agriculture Department, yesterday he should have witnessed what happened in Kampala, and could this be that farmers should have to prepare themselves for the first season? You're most welcome, sir, to Morning at NTV Show.
Good morning.
I can hold it.
Good morning, viewers. We are so saddened by what happened in Kampala, and it is an indication that the country is not doing well in terms of the weather and the climate change at large. We as a nation, we had a report from UNMA, that's the Uganda National Meteorological Authority, that the rains we are going to receive rains from mid of March, and then indeed all over the country. We as a district also received rains from the mid of March. And the way the rains have come, they are coming with a lot of disasters and floods in many places. But as a region, West Nile, we're expected to have near normal rains. And this does not leave cases of some floods and issues to do with the storms. Farmers should not take it for granted. We need to take precaution. It shouldn't be a Kampala case because we had ever received issues of floods in our region. And as a district agriculture officer, I do encourage farmers. The moisture that we have received is adequate enough for those who have prepared land to begin planting. And we also advocate that those who have not prepared land, this is the right time for you to prepare your land very fast. And we advise for food security issues, please plant both long-term and short-term crops. You have to mix, because for the short term, like the vegetables, they can save us from the challenges of malnutrition and food security at large. And for the long crops that may take long, for things like cassava, which are staple food for this region, they may also help us in the future. And I do advise the farmers that this time, this is going to be the high rate for, there's going to be high rate for pests and diseases with the rain, because most of the pests come with the influx of the moisture, and it makes an ideal condition. Farmers make sure that you plant pest-tolerant varieties. So the variety that can resist the weather, varieties that are high yielding. Because now, in this region, we have refugees. The food that we receive here is not going to the market. And there is ready market with the upcoming city, the rural city. The population in the city depends on us as a district for food. And also the neighboring districts, the neighboring countries, South Sudan and DRC, we have a lot of markets for our agricultural products.
Maybe as Arua District enjoys comparative advantage of hosting refugees and also being located at the border of 3 international countries, that's to say Uganda, South Sudan and DR. Could we say that there's food insecurity, and could farmers take this as an advantage now that the rains are starting?
Yes, farmers can take this as an advantage in the sense that this time even welfare program does not give a lot of food. They give cash. So this cash ends up in our markets when they come and buy our food. So this is an advantage to our farmers, that they have to increase on their productivity, such that they earn a lot from their farms. And we do encourage that, let it be a win-win business, where you have good things produced in the market, not adulterated things, because for the good health we need to have good and safe food.
Maybe in conclusion, our time is fast being spent. I need to let the room back to my colleague in the studio to wind up with the topical discussion in the studio. We are looking at this particular range which I've started. Could we say that this is all the Kampala agenda? And how well prepared is the disaster committee to tackle any kind of disaster that might come ahead of us now that these rains are starting across the country?
The issue of the floods or the rains is not a Kampala issue alone. This is a national issue. As a district, the DDMC is prepared in the sense that they have ever been giving out weather forecasts to the communities there as a sign of early warning signal. So the farmers are on alert. And we do encourage, these does not all affect production, this affects all sectors, infrastructure, health. We need to take this that it should be a holistic approach, that the issue of weather is addressed from all angles. And I do want to appreciate the farmers. There are so many government programs which are taking place now, things like the PDM. This is where farmers need to take it and use the rains profitably so that they can come out of the poverty and they can secure.
Okay. Your name, sir?
Nelson Adile, I'm the district officer.
Okay. Thank you very much. This has been Nelson Adile, the district agricultural officer, trying to give us his perspective now that we witnessed yesterday what happened at the capital city of this country, Kampala, where floods paralyzed traffic and also made 7 people to die. And he mentioned a lot of things here, that this is not only a Kampala issue, but many of the districts up country should prepare now that these rains are starting, and the disaster management committees should also prepare themselves. For the interest of time, allow me to now connect to my colleague, that is Stephen Bide, to give us the same update at the capital. Could we say that the same thing that happened yesterday is happening today, or we are seeing different story today? Stephen, if you can hear me, please take up from where I've stopped. Give the country what is latest in the capital city of Uganda.
Good morning at NTV. We are here in Kampala. This is Ginger Road at the traffic lights. It's already drizzling, and for the people coming to town, at least for now, when they hear this drizzling, they may get concerned and get worried that maybe we are about to see what happened here in Kampala the previous day. That was Wednesday morning, where many parts of Kampala were left under floods. The skies opened just for a few hours, and we saw many roads and residential areas in Kampala flooding. But for now, for the people coming from the direction of industrial area, that is through the 6th and 8th streets, as well as Mukwano Road, coming towards the traffic lights of Ginger Road, just know that for you, there is no congestion as you approach the traffic lights. Just remember that 7th Street is still closed because of the drainage and extension works happening along the 7th Street. So for the people coming from Bogolobi, don't bother using 7th Street. You have to use either 8th or 6th, and then you'll be getting towards Mukwano roundabout and then join the traffic lights. For you who is coming from Ginger Road and Old Port Bay Road, coming towards this side of the Ginger traffic lights, just know that after the Wampeo Avenue traffic lights, it's just a little wait of just under 5 minutes, and then you'll be able to connect toward the rest of the city center. But now, because of what happened the previous day, we are going to have a conversation with the Deputy Director of KCCA, that is Mr. Ivan Katongole. He's here with me. We're going to have a conversation on the issues concerning the safety on our roads. That is for you as a pedestrian, but also the one who is a motorist. Yesterday it was raining too much in Kampala, leaving so many floods. But for you, Mr. Ivan Katongole, first of all, good morning to you.
Morning. Nice meeting you.
Thank you. Yesterday, many people are now also concerned, even up to now, that we are having drizzles. They may think that we're about to see what happened yesterday, flooding. And you are the acting director for now, because the director is on leave. But you, as the deputy director for KCCA in charge of fiscal planning, maybe the ball gets back to you. What is the plan? How did we find ourselves in this kind of situation?
Thank you very much. I think the first immediate thing is that everybody should take caution, because there is climate change all around the world. Wherever these rains come up, they cause flooding in various cities due to various causes. But we must understand that there's a global trend. These rains are in all places. You saw the other day, a few months ago, Dubai was in floods, something that was totally unexpected. There are floods in Nairobi. So many cities are flooding. But the first thing is to assist people or to train them on how to cope with the flooding, to know that those who are living in flood-prone areas must evacuate so that they don't drown when the waters come. But at the same time, those who are driving in the roads, they have to take caution. They don't have to drive very fast. They should take care of other road users. They must not cross deep water where they can't see exactly how deep that water is, because they may end up being swallowed up by water that is moving at very fast rates. Then we also expect that people must move well enough early when they are coming to work.
It doesn't matter what time it rains.
To avoid crowding. I'm talking about what people can do to deal with the flooding, to deal with the challenge of the rains. If you come in a rush hour, you definitely accumulate more problems than when you come in good time. So they have to adapt to ways that will assist them to deal with the floods. Now, as KCCA, you know that we are already working on a number of roads around the city, together with the tenant drains. These works are, of course, contributing to the challenge of the flooding, because, as you know, in construction, we have to use props, we have to use some barriers, so that when we cast the concrete, it's not carried away by the rains until it dries up. So these works are a bit contributing to the problem, but we have got long-standing challenges of people encroaching in wetlands. That is very common here in Kampala.
As we address the issue of wetlands, I'm going to come there. But for the people who were in Kampala yesterday, floods, this is not the first time we are seeing floods in Kampala. And for now, it's already drizzling. They would wonder what has KCCA, especially in, the engineering, but also the fiscal planning departments, what have they been doing to make sure that whenever it rains, like here Ginger Road, was almost impassable for many hours, but also Clock Tower and so many other areas, industrial area. What has been done previously that maybe we can start from there and say, okay, there's been some work in progress?
Thank you very much. Now, we need to understand that KCCA developed a drainage master plan for the whole city, but has not yet been fully implemented because of funding issues. But the engineering directorate, using resources available, are carrying out lots of desilting work, as well as working on a number of new drains in order to be able to control the flooding that is happening around the roads. This is critical because the rains are not only disturbing people's lives, but they are also destroying infrastructure, especially roads. When roads are flooded, they don't last long. On the side of fiscal planning, we are grappling with the issue of controlling development, especially developments that extend into wetlands. So those ones, we have to ensure that we curtail their efforts in carrying out unapproved developments within the waterway, because that has been a major problem over several years. Although we have got some enforcement challenges, but basically that is our day-to-day job, to ensure that development takes place where it should be. There are also a number of people who want to pave all of their plots. Their plot coverage is 100%. Even in purely residential areas, we also have to make sure that we guide these people to ensure that they do the right thing. Our challenge, you've said it has been happening over time. It's in the numbers, the staffing levels that have to deal with these challenges. As you know, everybody will resist control from city authorities, and that's happening in Kampala. But we put in what we can to ensure that our work is effective.
You know, one of the places that was least expected to flood is Clock Tower, because previously, before the construction of now the flyover that is linking Kampala to Entebbe Road to the industrial area, many people were stranded whenever it rained. But this is the first time we are seeing flooding at the newly launched flyover. And many people on social media were castigating KCCA, the government, that they promised a better structure. What went wrong around the Clock Tower that also led to flooding again? that many people are castigating you on the social media?
Let me tell you this. I think it is the people themselves who are the cause of this. The main challenge of the flooding in the city, especially at that point, you know that that point is very low-lying. So you expect most of water to look for that place, naturally, at the clock tower. But now, when we don't manage our waste very well, the wastes are carried by the water, then they block those newly constructed drainage systems. So, first of all, I've said the area receives a lot of water. It's a low-lying point. Then, when the waste is carried with the water, the waste blocks the newly constructed infrastructure. That was the main reason why there was flooding. Yeah.
But also you've talked about development, and we know that the population, the numbers are increasing. There are industrial areas coming up. Just look at here, industrial area where we are. You see many structures coming up, even in areas of metropolitan Kampala. And the number of population and development is increasing. Are we likely to see more of what happened yesterday? I'm talking about flooding. Or there is a way we can deal with management, but also managing our environment. How possible is that?
Thank you very much. Now, government continues to fund our activities because we are a government institution. So our activities are being funded much as there is a limited resource envelope. I talked about already the drainage master plan, which is in place, and we're expecting additional funding from government to implement it, even if it means doing that incrementally. Our Directorate of Engineering is ready to carry on with the works in addition to what they are already doing. Also, we need to know that as the city grows, there will be more construction. So we have to ensure that we preserve the green areas that are available so that they act as sinks of water. We need also to ensure that areas like Makshona Bay, the wetlands are regenerated where they've been encroached upon so that they can sink this water at a rate that is safe for other developments that we have around the city. Yeah.
I know what.
Yeah. To the people of Kampala, I want to repeat that you have to be cautious. It's your duty to protect yourself. Know what to do when the rains are coming. You should be conscious. Take the right actions. I talked about driving on the roads. You have to behave in a way that is responsible and be accommodative of other road users. Unnecessary overspeeding should be discouraged. We are also going to put up an application where people can send to us alerts in the various locations where there are flooding challenges that we need to respond to as soon as possible.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ivan Katongole, the acting director for now, because his position is the deputy director of KCCA in charge of fiscal planning, but for now he's the acting director because the director is on leave. Stephen Imbido, Fefeso Chibuga. I have now taken a short commercial break. The rest of the conversation here on Morning at NTV continues, but if you're coming to Kampala, carry an umbrella, a jacket, or a cardigan that will keep you warm, because for now the weather is still one of some rain that will be making you cold in the morning. In the studios, we take a short commercial break.
Never miss a moment, never miss a story. Stay informed anywhere, anytime with the revamped Nation e-paper. Now you can enjoy access with a superior user experience, improved layout for better navigation, ease of reading, and a more responsive interface on your device of choice. Remember, you can also access archive copies and catch up on news that you may have missed out on. Visit epaper.nation.africa to subscribe today and enjoy convenience at its best. For more information, email customercareug@ug.nationmedia.com or call us on 0312 301 230. Daily Monitor. Truth every day.
The same great cube that makes your beans tasty, now in a new pack. Get the Royco Cube Co-String at a Duka or supermarket near you. Just pull, tear and crumble for the tastiest beans.
When your business story reaches global markets, we have the world-class risk mitigation tools to help you thrive through the turbulence. At ABSA Corporate and Investment Banking, we are invested in your story, and we invite you to write it with us because your story matters. ABSA.
On the next episode is brought to you by...
With 3 delicious flavors in the 300 ml and 500 ml bottles, there's an honor for everyone.
On the next episode...
This week on NTVT Nation... We happen to be at Crescent.
We do the thing and we repeat it again. We do the love and we repeat it again.
That school music gala. A lot of great entertainment, great talent was seen. So do not touch your dial at exactly 11 a.m. to 12:30.
On the next episode...
With 3 delicious flavors in the 300 ml and 500 ml bottles, there's an honor for everyone. Where Funideka honor at an outlet near you.
Babe, more honor, please. But won't get honor.
Freshness you can taste.
Welcome back. Stephen Mbide there giving us an update earlier on how the situation is across Kampala and advising and really very strongly on the need to ensure that you come through with an umbrella, also ensure that you have warm clothing that should be able to keep you safe enough as you go about being productive and a transformational citizen. Let's return to the studio and continue with our discussion, weathering the storm, navigating extreme rainfall and its risks. My guest is George William Omony. He's a meteorologist at the Uganda National Meteorological Authority under the Ministry of Water and Environment. Mr. Omony, let me take you back to the discussion that Rashul Adidi had with the District Agricultural Officer for Arua. He spoke about the fact that this particular season is going to increase the occurrence to crops of pests and these particular challenges that the farmers do face. I didn't quite understand that particular point, and since we were, I don't know whether you did, and it is something that farmers must pay good attention to. The onset of the rains comes with a lot more challenges, but they should look out for pests and diseases.
Yeah. Okay, thank you so much. I really appreciated the District Agricultural Officer for Arua having confirmed they have received our forecast and they are putting it into use. Well, in our forecast, the one we generated at the beginning of this month, you know, like a forecast once we have generated, it is not just a matter of saying it is going to rain during this time, for this period of time. But the most important thing the community want to know, when the rain is starting, how long will it go, when will we get much more rainfall,
how intense is it going to be,
and when is the rain going to start decreasing down. Then how will the rain be compared to what always happen in the area. That's why we always hear of near normal, below normal,
above normal.
Above normal. So the near normal and above normal, meaning normal rain, the usual rain, which normally comes, it is okay without any problem. But when it is talking of above normal rainfall, that is a kind of rainfall which will be much more than what is always received.
That is right.
It is always good for farmers, but also bad sometimes. Now, having given that, we don't stop there. Then we go into what is called advisories.
Advisories.
What people should do. And before we have given advisories, we first give the impact. So the impact give both the negative impact which is expected to come with the rain and the positive impact which is expected to come with the rain. Yeah. We don't work alone. We work multi-sectoral approach. When we are generating the advisories, we bring all technical experts from the different institutions. Like for agriculture and food security, it is the MAIF, which will take charge of that. For health, Ministry of Health, then disaster department, OPM, water, they take charge of Ministry of Water and Environment, they give advisories on water resources. So, when we gave that forecast, we talk about the expected impact, particularly, let me go to agriculture. We noted very clearly the rain is going to be much, and when the rain is coming, definitely there are some disease outbreaks expected. So these disease which are expected to come, what should people do? Number one, we talk of looking at selecting the kind of crop species which can resist disease outbreak. Then number two, we also talk of spraying the crops. And we are saying that when you are spraying the crops, please take care to get the forecast for tomorrow. You know, when you are spraying, sometimes you need to be very careful. If you are spraying your crop during the time when there is a lot of rainfall, you're wasting your what? That pesticide.
Sure.
Because the water will come and wash it
away.
So it is normally advisable. We advise them, get to know the forecast when we have given that tomorrow there's going to be sunny condition without rain. So you can utilize that kind of period so that you spray your crops. Then we also advise them, because some crops, they are fast maturing crops, which normally can be mature within the period when the rain is still on. So during that time there is harvest. Then the harvest, people should now take care by using the taplings so that they keep it in the house.
Okay. Yeah. Finally, Mr. Omon, as we close this conversation, this is a question that would settle the minds of scholars, observers, and anybody that wants to advance what is no doubt the debate across the globe, climate change. There is attribution to climate change, some of what is happening, especially the patterns. Others, especially the skeptics, say climate change is overly being used as a scapegoat. We've had rains before that are as powerful as these, especially the El Nino phenomenon that we experienced way back as early as the 2000s. I don't know, I don't want to I don't know how to put it. I don't want to say climate change is not to blame. It is to blame, but there is need for clarity. The rain we are receiving right now, could it be as a result of the human activity and all these aspects that have led to global warming within the geography of Uganda, or the effects are from other factors outside of the country and even the continent, so to speak? Very quickly.
Thank you. Good to raise this question. There are two aspects. One, climate change, and then the second one is climate variability. Climate change is there because for us, we have the confidence in the data we collected, we analyze. It gives you a very clear trend that it is changing. It is not stagnant.
Okay.
Then on the addition to that, variation is the worst, which is affecting us right now. So what we are seeing right now is a climate variation, which happen on a different monthly basis, yearly basis, but at the same time, it is also changing.
Okay.
Yes.
Mr. George William Omony, meteorologist at Uganda National Meteorology Authority under the Ministry of Water and Environment, many thanks for the